This is reviewing Magic Hat Atelier Volume 1 by Shirahama Kamome, and I'm really glad that they kept the French word, but I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't that French word, they would have localized it, and that's just nope. Instead of waiting for Murphy Napier or Hello Future Me or even overly sarcastic productions to do a YouTube on this, I decided to do one myself, hence this video. This feels like something straight out of a Studio Ghibli film, and that's how magical the story is. How thought out the world building is. How it even shows that something that seems like it's for children can be deep and thoughtful and not in that superficial way where you know that they came up with the conclusion first and then came up with a question. This has a question, which is one of many, of what makes a person who they are and puts that into this amazing fantasy story. Since this is going to review Magic Hat Atelier Volume 1, turn away now, and I'll put the numbers in the timestamp if you want to skip all this, because there will be spoilers. This story opens up with Coco, a daughter of a tailor who loves magic. But in this world where magic and miracles are commonplace, magic can only be cast by witches, and only those who are born witches can do magic. So one day in her ordinary life, a magical Pegasus carriage lands near her home. She's ecstatic about this because this is a rare event for her home, which also doubles as a tailor shop. So on her way down to tell her mother, she meets another customer who wanted some cloth. Because her mother was busy helping out the owners of the Pegasus carriage, Coco cuts the cloth for the customer, who admires Coco's skill in cloth cutting and making straight lines. The customer likened Coco's skills to magic, in which Coco reveals her passion for magic. The customer asks why she liked magic so much, and she tells him about the time when she got a picture book of magic and found out that magic was reserved for those who were born witches. Now, the customer's intrigued by the picture book and was about to ask more about it when the Pegasus carriage breaks down because some local children were messing around near it. Specifically, they were, being kids, and investigating, one could say. Now, the customer that Coco was helping turned out to be a witch named Kifre, and through some hijinks, Coco discovers a secret that the magic of her world is drawn and that anyone can do it. Thanks to the picture book that Coco had when she was younger, she discovers that she too can do magic, and slowly learning the basic rules of how it works. And like any child who discovers something new, her curiosity, gets the best of her, and she starts tracing the lines of an unknown spell. But that causes an unfortunate event that turns the entire house into stone. And she was only saved by Kifre, and Coco finds out that one of the rules that govern witches and the consequences of finding out or breaking that rule, which is to erase the memories of those who have broken that rule. And for Coco, that would mean that she would have to forget her mother and her life, which she obviously does not want. But Kifre has another agenda in which that it is beneficial for him for Coco to keep her memory, and it's beneficial for Coco to keep her memory as well because she wants to save her mom. And then we have Kifre ask Coco if she wants to be a witch. And this is just the first chapter. Oh my god. Okay, from there we move into the Consent of the Crown test arc, which I am naming it that because that's what it is. And we are introduced more of the world of Magic Hat Atelier, and we are introduced first to the other apprentices of Master Kifre when he brings Coco back to his atelier. We first meet Tetia, who is a friendly and kind of a peculiar kind of girl. We first see her interact with Coco on how to use this magical water tool, and it's this never-ending round of thank yous that's coming from Coco, who is thanking Tetia, and Tetia thanking Coco for saying thank you, and it's just going around and around, and then it's interrupted by Riche, I think that's how to pronounce her name, who informs Coco that Tetia's unusual enthusiasm is best dealt with by ignoring it. Now, Rich's expression is very few, and so we don't really know a lot about her. She seems kind of mysterious that way. And then we are finally introduced to the last apprentice, Agate. Now, Agate comes off as a cold individual, or is it Agate? Um, she clearly doesn't want Coco to be a part of the witches, and we find out that Coco is the center of this rumor that she's an outsider being taken in as an apprentice. So everyone seems to know about this, and it's to this point that Aga doesn't want Coco around that she makes Coco take the test of the consent of crown way too early. Basically, the moment she gets there. Clearly, Aga has a chip on her shoulder, but somehow through the lessons, the minimal lessons that she's learned, and just her bravery, Coco passes the consent of the crown, much to everyone's surprise, because she wasn't supposed to take it, and she somehow passed. Not exactly with flying colors, but she passed thanks to her ingenuity and her creativity. Oh my gosh. And then following the consent of the crown arc, we head off to Colin, where we are introduced to Master Nolnoa and his grandson Tarta, who makes the magic wands, which are the pens and the inks that the witches use. And we get to see more of the amazing world building that Shirahama sensei is totally setting up all throughout the consent of the crown. We learn more, and then following this, where Coco is getting her magic wand and stuff, I found out so much information. And while we, the audience, and Coco are learning about all this, we also see the Eye Hat Witch from Chapter 1 who gave Coco the picture book in the first place. So Coco gives chase because she knows that Eye Witch, the Eye Hat Witch, has the answers that she needs to help her mom. And so she gives chase, and then the other apprentices chase after her. And when they finally realize that they lost the Eye Hat Witch, they can't find her, they realize they're no longer in the town. And this last part, oh, so good. This book has amazing art. This is definitely not in question. And it's not only that it has amazing pictures, but it's been adapted perfectly to the medium of manga and comics, and done so in a masterful way. Now, Shirahama Sensei has done freelance work, notably for DC and Marvel, but I don't think, she didn't. They didn't raise her stock up as an artist. She rose their stock up with the work that she did. Now, there are some notable differences in the way that Shirahama Sensei does her work, especially for an artist or mangaka in the modern day. First, she isn't a digital artist. Now, she has gone through the Tokyo University of Arts program as a designer. I'm pretty sure it's well within her capabilities. But that showcases how much skill has been put in and how much that skill should be admired, and especially in an age where digital art is the primary mode for artists in the comic book industry. It goes to show you that it's not the only way forward, and simply what you put on the page is the thing that matters the most. And her analog methods simply demonstrate the, oh my god, amazing level of skill she has. It's just absolutely brilliant. And as amazing as the art is, the story matches it so well. It's just that good. In fact, both the story and the arc work so well together in tandem that it gives us exactly what we need to know when we need to know it, and all the details that we can find out that help foreshadow events in the future, and it just helps give that emotion and everything that we need. So much information is given in the composition of the work and even the dialogue. We can see that this work is basically GOAT level, S tier, easy. especially when it comes to the medium of storytelling, the building of the intrigue and the world building through Coco, who is our point of view character, and seeing just so much fun side characters showcase really that hands down this story beats Harry Potter and Avatar the Last Airbender easy. Like, whatever standard that they set up, this vaults way over it. So if you did have to rank stories, you know, I would definitely put this on the top of anyone's list, right? Now, the influences of Western art, along with manga and tropes for storytelling, this is on the level of like Hayao Miyazaki level of thinking and consideration, who again is an influence on her style. As you can see, it's very Ghibli esque, but not quite. It's definitely her own thing. Um, like seriously, Studio Ghibli, you need to make a movie or a TV anime series of this. Just take over. I know that there's it's coming out, and oh, it's just such a high bar, and it would work so well in that world. Just absolutely amazing. Now, they aren't sponsored, so I'm being legit real about this. But if you want to purchase this book, I recommend that you go through bookwalker.com or through Kodansha, specifically because, well, let's just say that the other comic book platforms, specifically the one that everyone might be thinking about, let's just say that supporting corporations like those, contributes to bad working environments. So if you want to support the artist more directly, which this artist does deserve that, it may cost a little bit more on bookwalker.com, but you'll also get coins back, which you can use for other purchases on buying books, and that is definitely the way to go. So, end of credit stuff, just giving you guys a heads up. I know it's been a while since I've put on a video or anything, work schedule and that kind of stuff. Adulting is a pain in the butt, to say at the very least. So that's where we are. I'm putting out this video because I saw this and I saw on YouTube that there wasn't enough content on it, so I figured I might as well contribute. Like I said before in my introduction, I'm just doing this. It would be great if like Murphy Napier or Hello Future Me or Overly Sarcastic Productions, those guys, if they did something to cover this, but they're they're covering a lot of stuff, and it'd just be, you know, selfish of me to request that they cover this just for my sake, because I want to hear their thoughts. I'm gonna put this out there. If they do see it, hopefully this will be enough so I can hear their opinion on it. If not, then I'm putting my thoughts out here. I know that this probably isn't. If this was marketed, this probably isn't marketed towards me, but don't care. Good story is a good story is a good story. And I hope you guys are having a good day, or good evening. Ciao, everybody, and enjoy this book because it is amazing.